Oh man. Oh. Oh, the grass is so tall I can't see anything. Maybe we'll have to burn our way out.
Did you say burn? Like a prairie bird, James?
Sure did, bud.
Wow. You know, that just happens to be today's Wildlife Wednesday topic of the day.
Whew.
How incredible.
Well, thank golly goodness, because I gotta get out of here somehow.
Now, as James was pointing out earlier, it's incredibly overgrown in this prairie. There's a tree here. There's a lot of dogwood, these woody shrubs. There's some ash trees. There's about everything going on out here. It's too much. It really does need a burn. And the importance of burns in prairies should not be understated. It is most likely the most useful and most important tool that can be used in restoring and managing a prairie, especially a tallgrass prairie here in the Midwest.
So Jacob, I noticed a lot of the plants back here, some of them are dead and dried up, but some of them are still got some green leaves on them. Do some plants photosynthesize longer into the year and others die off quicker, or is this just a fluke?
You know, James, any native plants that are here really should not be photosynthesizing anymore. They should not have this green color. However, this is an invasive species called honeysuckle. And this honeysuckle here in the prairie really causes some issues because it will outcompete, it will take over, and just essentially not allow native plants to grow and thrive in the ecosystem like they should.
Huh, sounds like another good reason to
burn
it out of here. Yeah.
It really, it really is. And as you can see, this prairie up here behind the Prairie Center has not been burned in quite some time. And so because of that, there will need to be extra measures taken, such as coming in here and physically removing some of the older growth and some of the really hard to remove trees and other shrubs that are either native or non-native to this prairie ecosystem.
Like those?
Like those.
Let's take a closer look.
So this area right here behind the Prairie Center has not been dealt with. It really has not been managed any time recently. As you can see, there is a huge eastern red cedar here. There's a mulberry. There's even a white pine in the background. Now, when you think of prairie species, white pine is not one that should be there at all. And so in coming years, we will hopefully be able to restore this area of the prairie and make it truly a tall grass prairie consisting of annual and perennial, low-growing and short-lived plants. All covered. Okay.
Okay. So another real important reason we want to do some of these prairie burns annually is because after a season's worth of growth, you get a lot of these secondary growth stems, the woody stems that'll build up, and then they'll break down. And after each season, after each winter, these will start to build up on the floor, the floor of the prairie, the ground here, and they can prevent a lot of the new growth grasses from coming up that next spring as efficiently. And they can also, if you get too much buildup year after year, it can cause the fires to be even more devastating. And all that extra fuel will hamper the ecosystem from being able to rebound as efficiently as it would have if we were keeping up with our prairie burns on a more regular basis.
And so since we weren't able to burn this year, we had come in here and we had mowed pretty much regularly throughout the year, and this will help next year's growth be even stronger. All right, now welcome to our most recently burned and best, I would say, managed prairie here at Bethel Horizons. This is the site of all of the prairie updates I've ever filmed. Anytime that I've done anything in a prairie, it has been in this site here. Now, this prairie here has over the course of the year will have over 60 different plants that will bloom all the way from May until just about a couple weeks ago in early October. many different families of plants, many different orders of plants even, and it really, really shows. Not only is this an incredible place for plants to grow, but because there is such a wide diversity of plants, it will create this wonderful ecosystem of plants, birds, and insects alike.
Alright, so down here at the Nature Center we have what's known as the oak savanna habitat. And this is actually currently one of our rarest habitats that we have, but 150 years ago it used to be commonplace. In fact, all through Bethel property it was mostly oak savanna, but due to lack of regular fires and mismanagement of the terrain and the property, it's become less of oak savanna and more growth of what are known as these pioneer species. So a lot of the black walnuts and the black locust trees that have kind of been encroaching in on the open territory, and they spread a lot more easy. And now I noticed before, or I know that before we mentioned how some of the trees can be bad, but in an oak savanna, what we have here are, these are our bur oaks, and we got 4 of them here in this area. And what we're trying to do down by the Nature Center now is revitalize this oak savanna habitat. And in doing that, we'd like to keep some of these hardwoods, these nice bur oak trees, but make sure that we're keeping out the invasive ones like the black locusts and the black walnuts.
Eating now. So we had just gone out and we just bought a bunch of brand new prairie mixes and different things of that nature to revive this oak savanna habitat. So soon, in the coming week or so, we will come out here and we will hand sow all of these seeds into here, and hopefully within the coming years a lot of these seeds will flourish and we will have a grand diversity of many native tall grass and short grass prairie, also some oak savanna species going along just outside our Nature Center here, and hopefully later in the year we can show you how that's doing.
Just can't wait until we get some new native grasses and shrubs growing out of this rich, delicious soil. But until then, join us next time for another Wildlife Wednesday, and we'll keep you updated on the prairie, and stay classy out there.